Yo!
I motion that we ask Miss Bulma to cook some.
Okay, see ya! Huh? Gohan's here too!
Suddenly, a young man stands up abruptly, screaming like a disfigured banshee. Horrified, he grabs his messed up hair and curses his rotten luck. Seriously, if he must be reincarnated, then he at least think we
No matter who it is I'm fighting, I've got to believe in myself. That's the only way to win.
Better pick up the pace, otherwise you won't be able to keep up.
No matter who it is I'm fighting, I've got to believe in myself. That's the only way to win.
You want to fight me? Well, if you insist, I guess.
Try to keep up.
What?
Come on, do better. Is this all? Wide open. Wide open. Comes down to this.
Hold the fuck up, cause I know I was taking that nigga health down.
I admire your bravery in agreeing to this fight.
It's good to see you, Dad.
martial energy had led to this moment. But as for those who had never took this matter seriously before,
Contestant number 17, would you like to give a comment?
he, on the other hand, made a smile and thinks the situation has to be a joke. Seriously, it wasn't like he was the one slacking off, but that poor guy who used to own this body. So why panic? Since he'd inherited this unfortunate guy's role, he will do everything right and clean his freaking mess. A while later, the scene shifted to the gene injection hall, where all the students undergoing the gene injection had gathered for the genetic injection conference. Their endless chatter heavily centered on what abilities to awaken. Some suggested awakening Tier 3 Mountain Splitter or a Tier 4C Bridge Dragon, or a laughable Tier 4 Beast. Anyway, it just meant a massive show.
Wow! This is getting exciting already!
Stay focused. Wide open.
Right there!
Get ready for this.
Try to keep up.
Stay focused. Wide open.
Right there!
Get wide open.
Right there! Say your prayers. Putting it all into one.
If you get overwhelmed, there's no shame in calling it quits, okay? Wide open. Looks like I underestimated you.
これで全力が出せ。
Come on, do better. Try to keep up.
Wide open.
Right there!
Blink and you'll miss it. Protect everyone. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? Right, blink and you'll miss it. Come on, do better.
As the holographic screen displayed every awakened information the moment they're examined. The current student on display was Li Xiyuan. He awakened a third-tier magical beast bloodline, the Swift Spine Bug. Some students commented on his
No matter
lucky
who
break.
it is I'm fighting,
After all, he was just
gotta
an
believe
average
in
student in
myself.
their class before awakening.
That's the only
But
way
now,
to win.
he was probably the number one student with a strong bloodline. Strong bloodlines are really unfair. Another student, Chuzhou, lived up to his title of being the top student of the grade. Not only was he a level 9 martial apprentice, but he even awakened the top tier bloodline among tier 3 bloodlines, the Ice Demon Dragon. It seems this time around, the champion of Anqing City will be him. Next was Miss Lu, who was also a level 9 martial apprentice, and had awakened a stage 4 rare bloodline, the Nether Sparrow. A well-deserved ability for the top scorer of the province. If a stage 4 bloodline beast appeared in its true form, then it could destroy most of a city. Warriors would be as weak as ants before these beasts, and only grandmasters
Not
could
too
resist
late
them.
to back
In
out,
that
you know.
moment, he noticed something peculiar. Everyone's
You're
awakened
sure
beast
this is what
templates
you
were
want?
all classified as stage 3 or
Bring it
stage
on.
4. So why was his classified as A class? Just then, it was his turn to be examined. But the moment he turned towards the test tube chamber, the crowd of students were staring at him with dreamy eyes, believing he was going to be someone important one day. The girls even wanted to have his children right then and there. He knew this world really revolved around martial power, but seeing it firsthand, and directed at him, he walked into the test tube chamber with an aura of superiority and confidence. The crowd cheered him on like crazed fans. With such an insane aura after awakening, his level must be the highest with probably a huge breakthrough. Li Xingyuan just watched with a serious expression, finally noticing Yi's name. He acknowledged him to be someone to look forward to. Unexpectedly, what happened after was absolutely mind-boggling, because Yi's data only showed basic information. Stage 3 with an unknown beast bloodline. Seeing this, a brief silence ensues as everyone tried to make sense of what they were witnessing, their surprise and shock evident. But the moment apprehension sank in, the guys laughed at Yi like the bad joker, while the girls cringed in disgust and embarrassment for ever entertaining the idea of being with such a person. Meanwhile, Yi calmly walked out of the test tube chamber, expecting this result. Inwardly, he knew his martial power and beast bloodline are unique and probably immeasurable. His system template also wasn't protected, but it triggered the prompt for the infinite monster template. His template rank might be different from the rest, but this also means as long as he meets the conditions, he can draw monster templates infinitely. With this, he aims to become the king of monsters. So, later that day, the awakening ceremony ended and classes was over. But inside the class teacher's office, the old guy wondered why he suddenly wants a break to study and come back to the college entrance exam. Did he honestly think he would believe that a student such as him will actually study at home? He tells him he really wants to improve. He knows he has fallen too far behind, so he has to go through special training now. If he follows everyone else's pace, then there's no hope for him. Just then, his class teacher tells him he knows this. If he wants to become a warrior, the only way is to go to college. Beijing University was something that was not easy to get into, so he should be preparing a lot. He knows that he had awakened his bloodline, but his foundation was too weak, so there was no way he will pass the entrance exams with this strategy. There was no rush. He should prepare to repeat the year and try again next year if he fails. However, he ignores this. He states that he was desperate to learn. He might not understand, especially since he
This
awakened
nigga locked in door, man.
as long as he can train hard, he will achieve everything he wants. And to tell the truth, he asked his class teacher to look into his eyes. His eyes would not lie to him. Seeing those eyes, the class teacher deems them to be full of sincerity, so he reluctantly agreed. But if he fails, he will be coming back to study under him to repeat the year for next year. A while later, Yi arrives at the Anshin Warrior Center. Upon entering the center, Yi, already aware that his parents' house was mortgaged for about 600,000 yen, with the compensation for their accident over 1 million. He now has enough money to be heading to the main city. To improve his power now, he has two options. One is to level up as a warrior, but the other way is to increase the contract rate with Timur's model. And according to the data of the Infinite Monster template, each template starts with only 1 point of compatibility. Timur clearly has 3 compatibility points. What Yi doesn't understand was where did the last 2 points come from? For that, there was only one answer. Timur model absorbed genetically in his cell and gained 2 accounting points. This proves that the serum basically related to the genes of this world may be improving its model abilities. Instead of training to death as a warrior, he could be spending money to increase his compatibility. This strategy, if he's being honest, will be much better and suits him perfectly. Anyway, he needed to hurry up and buy some genetic enhancement repair. However, the moment he passes by the identification card checkpoint and entered the building, he experienced the biggest shock of his life. His eyes widened in surprise. In front of him were warriors with various awakened bloodlines, the overwhelming presence of their genes clearly evident. But what was surprising was that everyone in there had already awakened their lineage. After awakening the Mad Flame Demora, Yi obtained a unique sensory ability, the magnetic field of life. Since Timur may be sensing vital signs emitted by creatures through the release of his vital magnetic field, he may be clearly feeling the chi and blood of the warriors burning him, as if it were a furnace inside them. And along with the roars of their beast bloodlines as warriors or monsters, he can no longer suppress the fighting desire within him. After all, the Mad Demora is the king of beasts in their world, destined to conquer all life on the planet. But unfortunately, he was just a rookie at the moment, so he can only suppress Demora's fighting bloodline for now. When he gets stronger, he will show the whole world the meaning of being the king of beasts. Suddenly, someone grabbed him by the shoulder from behind and called out to him. This person turns out to be a baddie who advised Yi to not peek at people so casually like he intends to challenge them. He was a bit startled upon realizing this, so he apologized. She replied that it was fine. After all, it seems he probably just awakened his monster genes, so not being able to control his powers was normal. What brings him to the Warriors later?
Are you
She
okay?
questioned. He calmly replies that he was there to buy genetic medicine. But the place was huge, and he can't seem to find his way. Could you help me out? Sure, but why are you already using genetic medicine at this stage? He asked if there was something wrong with that. Not really. She smiled and continued. It's just that gene medicine isn't cheap and can easily cause resistance,
Not too late to
making
back
it less
out, you
effective
know.
over time. If
But
he wants to maximize the effect,
you're sure this is what
warriors
you
usually
want,
wait until their bloodline
then
reaches
bring
the
it
bottleneck
on.
before using it. He then asked how much one gene potion costs. Mihi's current stage, he can only use the solid type beginner potion, and it costs around 400,000 yen. This price tag scared the young king of beast shitless. It was way too expensive for a broke guy such as himself. Even if he used all his savings, he couldn't afford to buy it. But he still needed to buy it, so he wanted to know if the lady knew anyone who could get him the potion. The lady, who happens to be a good person, ends up giving Mihi a business card. It was a recommendation from a veteran warrior, so he could get a really good discount if the visit goes his way. He thanked her and took his leave. Fate allowed that they would likely meet again. After clearing out his account, he heads to a warrior's weapon shop. And after his insane spending, it was already nightfall when he got home. Inside his apartment, Mihi began his upgrade. He took those injections and was under immense pain. He could feel his bones shuddering and blood boiling as his compatibility increases from 3% to 4%, then to 7%. The overall stats also increased from 8 to 10, then from 10 to 15, which was the armed rank setting. When he was done, he crouched on the floor, completely exhausted. This is what leveling up feels like, he stated breathlessly. However, with each shot of gene potion, Mihi's physique improved. By the final one, it only increased a little. It seems that as his body strengthens, further base
Not like I
mutations
didn't
become
warn
harder
you.
and harder to trigger. Nonetheless, his current development was not bad at all. In just a few minutes, he gained what others worked 3 years for. And this was just using his base physical stats. If he activates the devil's bloodline power, then maybe he really does have a shot at being the
You
top
might be
scorer
the
in the
strongest in the whole
This is
world.
just too incredible.
I'll try to make
Ichiro
it
can't beat the
interesting for
geniuses.
you.
His cheat is way too weak. Next, it seems he has to depart to the secret realm. For context, the secret realm rifts are ranked from S-class to E-class. The higher the ranks, the stronger the beasts inside. Beasts in S-class realms are completely uncontrollable by humans. If they ever invade the real world, it would be an apocalyptic disaster. Anyhow, as the scene shifted to an E-level secret realm at a third-rate location in Anshi, he realizes that there are much fewer people there than he expected. Maybe it was because the secret realm had been developed for too long. After all, it was an old secret realm, and any treasures it had already been plundered. Only a few weak beasts were left behind for the rookie warriors to train with. Knowing all this, Ihi goes to the checkpoint. He asked the lady there about his book ticket for the E-class secret realm. The lady didn't look away from whatever she was watching on her television, and simply handed Ihi a test waiver and his ticket. Without hesitation, he signs the waiver and heads for the secret realm's rift. As he got close, his excitement grew stronger and stronger. In his eyes, this was the beginning of his rise to become the king of beasts. He rushed forward with joy, leaps in the air, and plunged headfirst inside. Inside, he dramatically did a superhero landing simply because why not? In this dimension, he clearly saw that the dungeon had 3 distinct stars: the Kanglin Star, the Anhui Star, and the Taijin Star. Even though he had seen the appearance of the secret realm in textbooks, it's a whole different ballgame to witness it in person. To be exact, it was just simply magnificent. Unexpectedly, as he was admiring the view, a mutant rabbit silently crept up behind him. It was a first-rank beast, Late Rabbit. The moment it got close, it launched a fierce attack from behind. However, he had long noticed the sneaky bastard's presence, and swiftly caught the poor guy in midair by the ears. He gave a creepy smile, amused that this unfortunate beast thought he couldn't sense him. He activated his life magnetic field ability and casually crushed the poor beast's throat like it was nothing. So with that kill, he ends up obtaining the core of the Late Rabbit. He realizes that its core was of average quality, worth around a few thousand yen. If he earns 1,000 yen within the span of mere minutes after entering the dungeon, then he's pretty efficient. Life is truly boundless for the strong. You see, ordinary people would kill themselves to work all month just to earn 3 or 4 times. Collecting too many first-rank beast cores is pointless. It would be better to find at least the second-rank beast. But who would have guessed that just as he thought of this, the second-rank beast, the demon, present itself just like that. Was this beat that he would kill or what? Nonetheless, he would grant the bug his wish. So, inside the level secret realm, he unsheathed his short sword and skillfully slashed the lower abdomen of the beast. He had read the monster's encyclopedia, so he knew that comparing the monster's steel-like shell on its back to the soft armor on the abdomen, it was easier to break through the defenses of the corpse demon bug. The beast's coiled, swarm-like body in a circular form spun rapidly towards him. Seeing this terrifying attack, he plunged his sword on the ground and activated the technique. Beam. With an overwhelming aura, he shot the beam like a fire cannon, hitting the beast squarely on the abdomen. However, this wasn't enough to kill it, and in retaliation, it also shot out several spinning discs from its mouth. He was surprised.
This is a bit different than usual.
Managing to
Come at me when ready.
fire projectiles was something unexpected, and also meant the monster was going all out. So, with agile and nimble movements, he skillfully dodged the attack. But his outfit wasn't so lucky. He screamed like a suffocating bard. Question the beast if it knows how expensive the outfit was. Anyway, with his current level as a martial artist, he can't do anything to this bug. Without powerful martial techniques as support, even with deep Danteon energy and strong blood vitality, he can barely exert 50% of his strength. And that's mainly because the original owner of the body was such an academic failure. Nonetheless, he has no choice but to cheat. Done with this fight, he activated his Mad Cult, the Emperor Demon's bloodline, empowering his physique from 15 to 21. His arms managed to transform into a beast form, with lethal claws and impregnable skin. As the demon corpse bug launched forward with its wide-open mouth with razor-sharp teeth, he leaped into its mouth, and the moment he was swallowed whole, he started tearing the beast from the inside. The monster bellowed incessantly until he pierced its skin, and came out from its lower abdomen. It died immediately after. Now that his overall physique had skyrocketed to level 20, he completely crushed the second-rank corpse demon bug effortlessly. However, after deactivating his transformation,
Oh, I like him.
he must
You lost because you've been slacking off in your training.
This will make him feel like a jet engine. On the ground, the short sword he just bought was corroded by the corpse demon bug's venom. A 250,000 yen weapon could destroy
Him what?
What a scam. The control was terrible and deserved a bad review.
This is a
Was
bit
the energy
different than
consumption
usual.
from his first
Come at
monster
me when
too
ready.
high because he was so freaking hungry.
No matter
To make
who it
this
is I'm
matter
fighting,
worse, he
I've
didn't
got to
break
believe in myself.
his stomach growled
That's the
moment
only
he
way to
smelled
win.
something fragrant. He even began to drool too, staring at the green magic core of the rotating drum. He seems to find the aroma. Oh, to hell with him. He opened his mouth wide and swallowed the huge green core in one massive gulp. Within him, the green core dissolved and immediately increased his compatibility from 7 to 71%. He was shocked with this news. He spent hundreds of thousands on a genetic potion, and it only increased his compatibility by 1%.
Time to finish
However, this
this.
single green magic core increased his compatibility by 0.3%. 3 or 4 of these cores are worth the whole potion. Also, a few white magic cores from the blade tooth thread should at least increase compatibility by 1%. Cursing, he began to tear up. He had wasted his money on pay to win and lost miserably. Whatever, he would turn his frustration into motivation, because tonight he will hunt to his heart's content. He placed 2 fingers on his forehead and activated his magnetic light field. This creates a magnetic pulse which detects everything around him within a wide range. After a few hours, it was afternoon the next day, his compatibility had increased to 9. His overall physique had also increased to 15.8. After reaching 9% compatibility, consuming more white magic cores didn't increase the compatibility anymore. So he just had to sell them for money instead. He had a total of 20 white magic core and 4 green magic core. When the receptionist at the checkpoint saw the number of magic stones presented in front of her, she asks if he was seriously a mere high school student. To be able to collect this many magic cores was just mind-boggling. According to government regulations, martial artists must omit 1/10 of their movement. 1 green magic core equals 5 white stones. All in all, he racked up 200,000 Xia Kingdom credits.
And that's how you do that. That's how you do that. Cook a nigga. Special beam credits.
A team of 6 warriors discussed their mission once they head out.
I
The
never
driver asked the
imagined I
captain
could be
if
the
they would be able to
strongest guy
complete
in the
the
world.
Blood Jade Flower Bounty mission this
But
time
after
around.
this,
The captain
I
of the
do
team,
feel like I'm getting
Lin,
closer.
a Tier 2 martial artist, simply stated that during their last exploration, they already found the general location of the Blood Jade Flower. However, since their fellow team member, Old Shin, was injured by a monster, he won't be able to join them in the secret realm this time around. Hearing this, the young lady among them questioned if the mission was going to be a 5-people job. The guy beside her seconded her question and added that the rules state that at least 6 people were requested to enter a D-class secret realm. So what were they